What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today, we are diving into Apple TV's Silo Season 2, Episode 1. And don't forget to stick to the end because we'll tell you how you can win the $50 gift card this month. But here we go. Brother, Silo is your pick, right? We're watching Dune right now, which is my pick, Dune Prophecy on HBO. We're watching Silo, which is your pick. This is one of the rare instances that you shared something with me and I actually dove into it and am enjoying it, but have my reluctancies, as we'll talk about. But you have much more story, like much more background, right? You've read the books, you know much more about it. And so this is going to be one of those instances where like maybe you're planting the seeds to get my mind going somewhere like I do for you for the other ones. But I'm interested to go in. So Season 2 opens up with a rebellion.
Yes. It opens up with the flashback of the rebellion and paints the picture in my mind of history is just repeating itself.
I think it's an example of human nature because, well, first of all, when it first starts off, I thought we were in a flashback of Silo 18. Like I thought, because they talk about after the rebellion quite a bit in Season 1. And so I thought that we were just seeing a flashback of that rebellion. And then after they all leave, they basically go back to normal. And that's the Silo we were introduced to in Season 1. Turned out very quickly, you know, a couple minutes later when we go back to the present time, that is not the case. It is actually the neighboring Silo 17, that we see the rebellion from. And so I was like, that's very, like, I wasn't going there at first, right? So that threw me, and I was like, oh, okay. Because at the end of Season 1, one of the things that really caught my eye was just how many silos there were. I mean, there were hundreds of them in that field. As they pan out on the end of Season 1, you just see all these craters, and you know every crater represents a silo. And so you're just like, whoa. So yeah, I think it's representing human nature. Like, people are going to feel control. They're going to want to rebel from that control. If they're not getting the full truth, and they're going to make up their own truth. And that truth might not be something that serves them. And then ultimately ends up killing them, which we saw with, I keep wanting to call them vaults now, because as soon as I realized what was going on in this post-apocalyptic world, and there's these different colonies of people living in these different bunkers, basically. They call them silos because that's what they're shaped like. But to me, I was like, oh, here we go, Fallout. Like, I get it. They're in these vaults.
I read these before I knew any of the story of Fallout.
Yeah.
I read the books. My brother introduced me to them. He's a big nerd. And so he's like, yeah, you should totally read these. It's really, really good. And my dad and him would pass books back and forth all the time. And they're like, yeah, you should read this one for sure. So I was like, okay. So I audible listened to that book and I was hooked. Like, it was so good. But for here, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it, but this first episode, I am extremely disappointed with.
It was very slow.
Yeah.
And it was really just showing you more of why Juliette, or Jules as they call her, is who she is. And how she has what it takes to be someone who survives, who's MacGyvering things together, thinks on her feet, is unstoppable, right? Is not going to just let the wasteland eat her. She's going to figure something out. And so I think that part of it was powerful. I liked how they tied a lot of those flashbacks into her current struggle. Like, it was character building. It showed you where those things came from and how she'd be able to like really show up with that characteristic today. But it was slow. It was very slow.
It was. Like I said, I was extremely disappointed in this episode. To me, they could have done a little bit more of it, of cutting back half the information. I feel like it's pandering to the people not intelligent enough to follow the story.
Okay.
So, as I mentioned before we started the episode, I saw Dune Prophecy, episode 1, having so much information, too much for me to keep up with. Where this was the exact polar opposite, where, come on, we get it. Just move on. We're not stupid. And so that's where I was with this episode.
Okay.
I enjoyed seeing the story of her and her friend, the one that she made the little toy for.
Yep.
I don't recall if they showed it in this episode or if I'm creating that part, but it was one of her friends when she was in the other silo.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember her name, but she is the one who pulls her out when she's drowning, when she's fixing the generator. I just don't remember her name off the top of my head. It'll come to me.
So we had hers after the rebellion, and her stumbling her way and finding out the new silo and realizing there's way more.
Yeah.
So she goes in there, trips, falls over, whole bunch of corpses on her way into the silo.
Yeah.
While she's in that silo, she's going through struggles of her mental health. As you mentioned, the flashbacks and stuff were showing why that wasn't going to break her. She failed a couple times with that stupid bridge thing, getting over there and just getting to that point in general.
Yeah.
And at the end of this episode, we're pretty much just left off with a mystery person.
Right. He basically says, if you try to open that door, I'm going to kill you. That's all we really know.
He doesn't know her.
He doesn't want to leave that room.
Well, he doesn't know her. He's terrified. He's been trapped there for how long by himself?
No one knows yet.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my point. He is too scared of outside. He got used to being in isolation because that's a safe place. He was able to survive, maybe not thrive. We'll find out once we're in there.
Yeah.
If he is alone or what.
Yeah. I thought it's kind of interesting, right? She had this thought in her head that they were lying to her because the one note that I think it was a note that she receives in season 1, or maybe it was a thing that he said to her. I thought it was a note where he says that basically like the hologram's a lie. The display is a lie, is what it says. The display is a lie. And she the whole time is under the assumption that the display in the cafeteria is the lie. But the display in the cafeteria is actually the truth. And the display they put in your helmet when you go out to clean is the lie. And I thought that was a really interesting switch, that basically all of this computing power is going into this illusion in someone's helmet when really they're showing everyone the truth the entire time. And they switched it because of human nature and making up something because they didn't have the full truth. They're like, no, that's the lie. And now we need to go out. So it's kind of like showing, I think season 2, episode 1, like the very beginning of that rebellion coming out is showing you like just how close they could have gotten in Silo 18 if a couple different things would have happened, right? Like they could have done the same thing. Instead, she kind of got caught and ended up having to get cleaned and all that stuff happened. But, now I'm interested to see what happens back in Silo 18.
Yes, that's what I'm waiting for.
Because she walked away. She didn't clean. And so people were very interested at the end of season 1 at that. They were like, oh, wait, she's doing what? A couple of her friends were cheering her on. Like, so what ripple does that now have in the remaining silo? And did she just cause the death of a bunch of her friends who were going to think, hey, it's safe. It's safe.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
That's the mind fuck. And you're going to get a whole lot more of those mind fucks if they keep to the book.
Interesting.
That's why I like it.
Yeah, no, one thing I will say that I was very disappointed in episode 1 was not having any screen time on Silo 18. It was all just flashback and stumbling through the wasteland, flashback and then stumbling through the silo, flashback and stumbling. And I get it. We needed to understand that she's a survivor and that things are very different and that, this other silo is exactly the same, but they had a different outcome. And like, we get all of that. Like we needed that. But I think like you mentioned, that could have happened like in half the time. And then we could have spent a little bit more time on like a little bit of that ripple that I'm really interested to see what's happening. Like, yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens to Jules and how her world is about to expand and become this whole new different thing. Totally cool. But there's a lot of characters that I have hours invested in that I want to know what the hell's going on with them.
You will.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You will. So, how disappointed would you be if on the next episode, which we'll be reviewing tomorrow,
Tomorrow we'll review it.
how disappointed would you be if they don't go back to Silo 18 yet?
As long as they're introducing a new mystery, a new plot line, a new something other than stumbling and backstory, I think I'll be okay because I'll have something else to sink my teeth into. But right now, so that's the thing though, a lot of that backstory didn't necessarily need to be repeated because of the backstory that they lay in season 1 with her. Like, you already know that she was alone for a while, that she had to turn in her freaking dead brother and mother's like belongings on her own. You already know that she has this psychological trauma, this loner mentality, this like get through anything, I'm gritty. Like, we understood that when we met her. And we really established that in season 1. Again, I don't think we needed to lay in so heavy on it on episode 1. And so if we do more of that or anything other than like more new story, I'll be very disappointed.
What would you love to see?
I would love to see her basically start to form her band of Wasteland misfits. Whoever she's going to be running with and basically creating this new civilization outside of a silo. I'd like to see some of those people start showing up. But if they don't start letting me know what's happening with Walk and with the rest of the, I can't think of everyone's specific names on the top of my head right now, the Curse of the TBI, but I really am interested to see what's going on with Silo 18.
Very cool. Let us know your thoughts of what you thought about, whether you agree or disagree with us.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be reviewing episode 2, dropping that tomorrow. And then you'll be able to get 2 videos a week from us, Dune, Prophecy, early in the week, and then Silo late in the week, just based on when they air, when they drop. We'll review them, record them, share our thoughts, and share them with you. Have you guys engage with us in the comments just a little bit. And that's actually how you win the $50 gift card. Just be subscribed, which thank you guys. This channel is growing by hundreds of people every week, thousands and thousands of people a month. So that's awesome. Thank you guys so much. We are officially over 4,000 subscribers. I think we're at 4,200 at the moment. So thank you guys so much for all of that.
If we're now 4,200, we will be before this episode actually drops.
So thank you guys so much. Before you even see this, we will definitely be there. You guys make this channel what it is, and I really do appreciate that.
We just hit 4,201.
There you go. Look at that. And so, again, subscribing is the first step to win that $50 gift card, and then all you got to do is comment something about this episode that was impressive to you, something that you didn't suspect, maybe your thoughts on the episode as well, below in the comments, and that's all you got to do to enter and win. We just want to have that conversation with you guys and have you guys engage with us. Other than that, my name is Chris.
And I'm Liam.
And if you love this video and want to watch more of what we're doing, you can watch Dune Prophecy episode 1 right here. We just reviewed it. It's trending right now. And then we also have our top reviewed right below it. You can check that out there. And then a video you can check out right here, just alone by itself, but it's also fantastic. We'll see you on any of those videos. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you there.